Hello friends, this is teacher JB. We are starting the book English Grammar in Use, and today we are going to study Unit 48, Reported Speech Part 2. Reported Speech Part 2. We do not always change the verb in reported speech. If the situation is still the same, it is not necessary to change the verb to the past. For example, Paul said, "My new job is boring," and reported Paul said that his new job is boring. The situation is still the same. His job is still boring now. Helen said, "I want to go to Canada next year." Helen told me that she wants to go to Canada next year. Helen still wants to go to Canada next year. You can also change the verb to the past. Paul said that his new job was boring. Helen told me that she wanted to go to Canada next year. But if the situation has changed or finished, you need to use a past verb. Compare. Paul left the room suddenly. He said, "I have to go." Paul left the room suddenly. He said that he had to go. You need to use the past in reported speech when what was said is different from what is really true. For example, you met Rachel a few days ago. She said, "Have you heard Joe is in the hospital?" Later that day, you meet Joe in the street. You say, "Joe, this is a surprise. Rachel said you were in hospital," not "you are in hospital." It's clear that he isn't. Say and tell. If you say who somebody is talking to, use tell. Rachel told me that you were in hospital, not Rachel said me. What did you tell the police? Not say the police. Otherwise, you say Rachel said that you were in hospital, not Rachel told them. What did you say? You can say something to somebody. Anna said goodbye to me and left, not Anna said me goodbye. What did you say to the police? We say tell somebody to and ask somebody to. Compare direct and reported speech. Direct, drink plenty of water, the doctor said to me. Reported, the doctor told me to drink plenty of water. Direct, don't work too hard, I said to Joe. Reported, I told Joe not to work too hard. Direct, can you help me please? Jackie said to me. Reported, Jackie asked me to help her. So this one, it can be asked me. Okay. You can also say somebody said to do something. Paul said not to worry about him, but not Paul said me. Now let's do exercises. Here are some things that Sarah said to you earlier. I've never been to the United States. I don't have any brothers or sisters. I can't drive. I don't like fish. Jane has a very well-paid job. I'm working tomorrow evening. Jane is a friend of mine. Dave is lazy. So they are all direct. But later Sarah says something different to you. Then what do you say? Sarah, Dave works very hard. And you talked to Sarah, but you said he was lazy. Let's have fish for dinner. And then Sarah said, I don't like fish. So, but you said you didn't like fish. But you said you didn't like fish. And Sarah says, I'm going to buy a car. And then here, I cannot drive. So Sarah cannot drive, but she says she's going to buy a car. But you said you couldn't drive. Couldn't. You couldn't drive. And Sarah says Jane is always short of money. Short of money. But Sarah said Jane has a very well paid job. But you said, but you said she had a very well paid job. But you said she had a very well paid job. My sister lives in Paris. And then here, oh, I don't have any brothers or sisters. So you say, but you said, but you said you didn't have any siblings. Okay, let's say siblings instead of brothers and sisters. I want to save space. But you said you didn't have any siblings or brothers or sisters. Sarah says, I think New York is a great place. And Sarah said, I've never been to the United States. But you said, okay, but, excuse me, you said you had, so present perfect becomes past perfect. You had never been to the United States. And let's go out tomorrow evening. Let's go out tomorrow evening. And Basera said, I'm working tomorrow evening. But you said, but you said you were working tomorrow evening. Sorry, tomorrow evening. Finally, I've never spoken to Jane. And then Jane is a friend of mine. But you said she was a friend of yours. But you said she was a friend of yours. Okay. Now, complete the sentences with the say or tell in the correct form. Use only one word each time. Anna said goodbye to me and left. And us. You have an object here. So tell us about your holiday. Did you have a nice time? Don't just stand there. Say something. You're not a person. You say something. I wonder where Sue is. She would be here at 8. So she said she would be here at 8 o'clock. Then then he was bored. So Dan told me that he was bored with his job. Number 6, the doctor the doctor said that I should rest for at least a week. Number 7, Gary couldn't help me. He told me to ask Chris. Gary couldn't help me. He planned to ask Chris. He said to ask Chris. Number 9. Don't anybody. Don't tell anybody what I said. What I told you. What I said. It's a secret just between us. Did Kate tell you what happened? No, she didn't say anything. She didn't say anything to me. Okay, this one, let's read the sentences together. Anna said goodbye to me and left. Tell us about your holiday. Did you have a nice time? Don't just stand there. Say something. I wonder where Sue is. She said she would be here at 8 o'clock. Then told me that he was bored with his job. The doctor said that I should rest for at least a week. Gary couldn't help me. He told me to ask Chris. Gary couldn't help me. He said to ask Chris. Don't tell anybody what I said. It's a secret just between us. Did Kate tell you what happened? No, she didn't say anything to me. The following sentences are direct speech. Don't wait for me if I'm late. Mind your own business. Please slow down. Can you open your bag, please? Don't worry, Sue. Hurry up. Will you marry me? Do you think you could give me a hand, Tom? Now choose one of these to complete each of the sentences below. Use reported speech. Will was taking a long time to get ready, so I told him to hurry up. Number 2. Sarah was driving too fast, so I asked her. You asked Sarah to slow down. Hey, Sarah, slow down. I asked her to slow down. Number 3. Sue was nervous about the situation and I told her, okay, I told her, Sarah, Sue, her, and then here, don't worry. I told her not to worry. I told her not to worry. Number 4. I couldn't move the piano alone, so I asked Tom. So I asked Tom to give me a hand. Or I asked Tom to help me. I asked Tom if he could help me. Number 5. The security guard looked at me suspiciously and, okay, so here the she or he, and he asked asked me asked me to, okay, where is it? Can you open your bag? To open my bag. Or he told me to open my bag. Number 6. The man started asking me personal questions. So the man. So I told him to mind his own business. Hey, mind your business, man. Mind your own business. Business. Number 7. Carl was in love with Maria, so he, okay, asked her, will you marry me? To marry him. To marry him. Okay, the last one. I didn't want to delay Helen, so Helen is her. Her, I told her not to wait. Not to wait. And then where is it? Don't wait for me. Not to wait for me. And then if I'm late. Okay, let's read the sentences one more time. Will was taking a long time to get ready, so I told him to hurry up. Sarah was driving too fast, so I asked her to slow down. Sue was nervous about the situation, and I told her not to worry. I couldn't move the piano alone, so I asked Tom to give me a hand. So I asked him if he could help me. Number 5. The security guard looked at me suspiciously and he asked me to open my bag. Number 6. The man started asking me personal questions, so I told him. I'm sorry. I told him to mind his own business. Number 7. Carl was in love with Maria, so he asked her to marry him. I didn't want to delay Helen, so I told her not to wait for me if I'm late. Okay, friends, this is the conclusion of today's study. I'll come back to you with another unit as soon as possible. Until then, keep studying English and have a great day. Bye.